Hello, my name is Professor Tim Holbrook, and I will be speaking today about property law. Now, property law may seem intuitive, it's probably about things, but there's a lot of complications in property law. And in fact, some of the challenges of a class like property is that it doesn't have a nice story. When you study contracts, there's a nice story about how people come together, there's a meeting of the minds, then things fall apart and people sue each other. Property is not like that. It's a class where we take everything, lump it together, call it property, and then we teach you about it. So what does the fee simple absolute have to do with easements? You may not know what those are yet, but I will tell you they're somewhat tangentially related, but it does make studying this class difficult. So my goals for today are not only to introduce you to property law doctrines, but also getting you thinking in terms of why property? Why do we use the state to protect these entitlements and these objects? Why are we doing this work? Now, U.S. property law is interesting. We inherited our law from England. So a lot of the cases actually entail considering ancient decisions from England or the early period of the United States. Property law is also governed by each individual state. And so there can be lots of different rules in each state. So it will depend in which state you are practicing as to which rule you will apply. Federal law, interestingly, defaults to state law. So even if federal law talks about property, it will look to the law of a given state to determine whether that interest qualifies as property or not. I've been using this term property a lot, so that sort of begs the question, what is property? Now, if you think about it, instinctively, we tend to think about property as things, the physical, right? A book, your laptop, your house. But the reality is property can also be intangible. My area of expertise is intellectual property, patents, copyrights, trademarks. Those are viewed as a form of property, but the reality is they don't have a physical form. But nevertheless, we view them as property. So why is that? Why are both the physical and the intangible considered property? What is common to both of those categories? And so one way of thinking about this is that property entails a bundle of rights around a thing.